Today we are going to be discussing improving our health. So our lesson title is Causes of Unhealthy Weight. Many of you may know someone who is overweight or has different weight problems or is always trying to diet or exercise to lose excess weight that they do not want. So we're going to find out a little bit more today about ways that actually lead to people gaining that extra weight that is not necessary. So to do that, we are first going to discuss 3 different objectives that we want to meet. And our first is a cognitive objective. So by the end of the lesson, all of you will be able to identify causes of unhealthy weight gain, which can lead to obesity, by completing a handout that I will give to you with 90% accuracy. Our second objective is an effective objective. So after discussing the dangers of gaining too much weight in an unhealthy way, you all will verbally verify 2 causes of developing an unhealthy weight. And the third objective is a psychomotor objective. So all of you will then get to create a food collage, and this collage will classify different examples of healthy food choices and unhealthy food choices that we discussed in the lecture, and you'll be able to use some of the things we talked about to help you find examples to put in your collage. So the first main topic we're going to discuss is overeating. A lot of times people just want to eat and eat and eat, and they do not realize they've eaten so much, either because the food is so good, or they are sitting in front of the television while they are eating, so they're not really paying attention to how much they are putting in their mouth. But a big problem that leads to overeating is not using portion control. Portion control is very, very important to prevent someone from gaining too much weight. And as you can see on the picture that's from choosemyplate.gov, it has a sample plate, and it has it divided into different sections of fruits, vegetables, grains, and protein, and then also off to the side you can see dairy. So that kind of gives you an idea when you're looking at your plate how it should be broken down into the different food groups and about how much you should be eating. And then by just sticking to that, that will help you to not overeat. Another cause of overeating is excessive snacking. A lot of times, you might get home in the afternoons and be starving from school, and so you go to the pantry and you pull out a whole bag of chips or a box of cookies, and before you know it, you're sitting on the couch and you're just eating and eating and eating, and what do you know, the whole bag's gone. And so that's definitely not a good thing to do. But excessive snacking is just when you're constantly nibbling on things throughout the day or in the afternoon when you get home from school. Our next topic is lack of exercise. So most of you probably know that exercise is very important to help a person stay fit and healthy. So if you are not exercising, there's a good chance that you will have unwanted weight gain. And if you do not exercise, that can also lead to other health risks such as diabetes or heart disease, even different types of cancers. So definitely things that you do not want to have happen to you. And without exercise, you may also have a decreased energy level. You all need to have plenty of energy so you can participate in after-school activities and hang out with your friends, and of course also do well in school on your different assignments and tests that you might have. Right here in my lesson, I will now designate 10 minutes to a verbal activity. And some of the questions that I will be asking the class is, what can cause a person to gain weight? How can gaining unhealthy amounts of weight harm your body? And how can you prevent gaining too much weight? I think some of the responses that I would get from my students when it comes to preventing weight gain is, of course, eating healthier, cutting out junk food, getting plenty of exercise. The ways that it might harm your body if you have excess weight is, of course, what we just discussed, heart disease, different types of cancers, diabetes, and most of the responses to what can cause weight gain would definitely be eating junk food, not exercising, sitting on the couch too much, being lazy, etc. Okay, class, now we are going to move on to talking about fast food. And of course, most of y'all probably love fast food. I enjoy it myself. But if you eat your burgers and fries and chicken strips all the time, it can definitely lead to weight gain. And the reason that it can cause a person to gain weight is because most of those foods are very high in calories, they're greasy, and they give you the option of large portion sizes. So, you might go up to the window to order, and instead of just getting a small, they say, hey, do you want a large or do you want a super size? And if you choose that really, really large order of fries or the meal, whatever you decide to get, that can end up making you eat a whole bunch of extra calories that you really do not need. Right here in my lesson, I will spend another 10 minutes doing a discussion with my class. A couple of the questions I would ask are, how many times a week do you eat fast food? Do you pay attention to how many calories are in your meal if the restaurant lists it? Do you get at least 30 minutes of activity each day? And what are some healthier things you might can order at a fast food restaurant? I think some of the responses when it comes to ordering healthier things are, say, if you go to McDonald's, when you order a kid's meal, instead of ordering fries, you have the option to order apples and caramel. So that could definitely be a healthier choice. Or maybe they decided to order the hamburger and not order the French fries. I do think most of them would say they get 30 minutes of activity each day, especially since they get recess here at school. I doubt that many of them are going to say they pay attention to calories just because of the age that they are, and even if it is listed, they're probably busy doing other things and they don't pay attention to it, but we can discuss, calorie counting kind of gives them a better idea of that. And I have a feeling most of them probably eat fast food at least 1 to 2 times a week, and I'm sure, though, it depends on whether they come from a family where the mom or dad cooks meals at home, so you have to take that into account. Okay, class, now looking at these next 2 slides, we'll see sample menus from Burger King first. And you can see Whopper sandwiches. It has a bunch of different ones listed, and out to the side it gives you all of the different amounts of calories, calories from fat, total fat, and so on. And as you can see, a bunch of these burgers, just for that one burger, has tons of calories. So you really need to limit the amount of times during the week you're going to eat fast food. On this next slide, this is from McDonald's. And if you look at, say, this first thing, a McFlurry with M&M's, just that one 12-ounce McFlurry has 650 calories in it. That is a whole lot. So just think, if you were to eat that McFlurry and French fries and a hamburger, how many calories you would be getting in one meal. That's a whole lot. So y'all really need to watch that. Now I will designate 20 minutes for my students to work on their food collage. I will explain to the students that they are going to make a collage separating healthy foods from unhealthy foods, and they will be given access to different magazines and also computer access. They can get on the internet and even print pictures out from there, and they will print out pictures and cut them from the magazines and then glue them onto paper under the correct category. And we will, of course, then discuss different foods that they placed on their collage to make sure that they are under the correct group. Next in my lesson, I will designate 5 minutes for my students to take an assessment, and it will have just various questions over our lesson about causes of unwanted weight and different ways that they can try to decrease the chance of them gaining excess weight and so on. So there will be 5 minutes there, and then they will complete that handout and turn it into me. And that will be the end of our lesson for the day. And we will move on to the next topic,